What if a single thought could turn into a fortune? That's exactly what Napoleon Hill discovered after studying 500 millionaires. He uncovered 13 steps that anyone can follow to achieve success. And in this video, you'll get the exact playbook to start today. But stay with me until the end, because without the final lesson, everything else could collapse. Phase 1, the foundation. Chapter 1, desire. Know exactly what you want. We began with a man who had nothing. No money, no connections, no special skills. But he had one thing most people never truly have: a burning, crystal-clear desire for what he wanted. His name was Edwin C. Barnes. The moment he saw a photograph of Thomas Edison, he decided he would become his business partner. He couldn't afford a ticket to New Jersey, so he jumped a freight train, walked into Edison's office, and asked for a chance. Edison didn't say yes. Instead, he offered Barnes a low-level job. He showed up day after day for years, waiting for the moment he'd been visualizing from the start. When Edison needed someone to sell his new dictating machine, Barnes seized the opportunity, crushed the sales, and earned the partnership he had imagined. That's the pattern behind every success story. Not a vague wish, not a would be nice, but a burning desire that doesn't die even after years. Hill gives a 6-step formula you can start using today to turn your desire into results. Decide exactly what you want. If it's money, pick a number down to the dollar. Decide the price you'll pay. Every goal comes with a price, time, skill, value you'll give. Set a deadline. A dream without a date is just a wish. Write a plan and start today, even if it's messy. Write it all down in one clear statement. Read it every morning and night, picturing yourself already living it. Your turn. What's your Barnes level goal? The one so clear you take the freight train, take the low-level job, and wait years if that's what it takes. To help you put this process into action, I've created a blueprint you can grab. It walks you through each step so you can start applying the principles right away. So without that kind of desire, no amount of talent or luck will carry you. But with it, you become unstoppable. And when desire says, "I want it," faith says, "It's already mine." Chapter 2. Faith. Believe it before you see it. In 1995, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson sat in his car with $7 in his pocket after being cut from the Canadian Football League. He told himself one thing: "I'm destined for something bigger." That belief became the fuel for everything that followed. He rebuilt himself as a wrestler, then again as an actor, pushing through years of rejection until the world finally matched to the picture he held in his mind. That's faith. Seeing your goals so vividly, it feels real long before it shows up in your life. And your mind accepts what it hears on repeat, whether it's true or not. Repeat doubt and you'll convince yourself you can't win. Repeat belief and your subconscious will start moving mountains to make it happen. Napoleon Hill's simple daily formula for building faith. Read it aloud morning and night. And as you say it, imagine already living it. Feel the emotions you would feel if it were true today. Visualize living it now. What you see, hear, and feel when it's real. Do one small action immediately after you read it. Protect your mind. Avoid negative self-talk and negative people. Faith isn't pretending problems don't exist. It's refusing to let them set your limits. When you combine it with burning desire, nothing can stop you. Question for you: when life knocks you down, do you see the end or the beginning of your comeback? But belief fades unless you install it in your mind. The next step is to lock that belief in place with autosuggestion. Chapter 3. Autosuggestion. Make belief stick. In the early 1990s, Jim Carrey was broke, living in a rundown apartment and struggling to get acting work. But instead of focusing on what he didn't have, he decided to program his mind with the future he wanted. So he wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, dated at 5 years ahead, and carried it in his wallet. Every day, he visualized getting that exact paycheck. Almost 5 years later, Carrey landed his role in Dumb and Dumber with a paycheck of $10 million. That's the power of autosuggestion. It's the practice of feeding your subconscious with thoughts, image, and emotions until it accepts them as real and starts guiding your actions to match. Your subconscious doesn't argue whether something is true or false. It simply absorbs what you repeat. That's why the key to autosuggestion is consistency. The more often you feed it, the deeper it takes root. Here, Hill's daily process for making it work. Set 2 triggers. At those moments, read or repeat your statement. Choose 2 daily habits as anchors. For example, brushing your teeth in the morning and setting your alarm at night. Each time you do them, pause for 20 seconds to read your statement with feeling. Design your environment. Make your statement your lock screen or print it as a desk card so you see it constantly. If-then rule. When a negative thought appears, say your statement once out loud as a reset-proof log. Each night, write 1 sentence. Today I did toward my goal. That way, you build evidence and confidence. So here's your challenge. What bold statement will you repeat every single day until your mind and your life have no choice but to catch up? The process is simple, but it only works if you do it with emotion and consistency. Now the foundation is locked in. Here's what it looks like. Desire chooses the destination. Faith makes it feel real. Auto-suggestion installs it in your mind. Now it's time to turn that belief into a plan with the right skills and people. Phase 2, the plan. Chapter 4, specialized knowledge. Learn what you need to succeed. In 1919, a Chicago newspaper published an article calling Henry Ford an ignorant idealist, suggesting he was uneducated and unfit to comment on world affairs. Ford sued for libel. In court, the opposing lawyer tried to embarrass him by asking basic historical questions, dates, battles, names of political figures. Ford finally smiled and said, "If I really want the answer to a foolish question, I have a row of electric push buttons on my desk. I can summon men who can answer any question I desire." He didn't try to know everything. Instead, he focused on surrounding himself with people who had the knowledge he needed. Engineers, designers, managers, and then using that knowledge to act. That's the point. General knowledge is everywhere in books, on the internet, in schools. But on its own, it's almost useless when it comes to building wealth. Specialized knowledge, on the other hand, is targeted skills aimed directly at a definite goal. It becomes power only when it's organized and applied. Think of Steve Jobs. He wasn't an engineer, but he had a crystal clear vision for simple, beautiful computers. He partnered with Steve Wozniak, who had the technical expertise to make that vision real. Jobs didn't try to master every skill. He assembled the right ones and applied them to a plan. Here's how to put this principle to work today. Define the target. Write your 1 clear goal. Identify the skills. List the 3 to 5 key skills your goal requires. Choose the path for each skill. Decide, will you learn it yourself or borrow it from someone else? Or organize it. Knowledge only matters if you use it. Run a 30-day mini project that produces a visible result. Keep improving. Knowledge grows faster when it's shared. Create a weekly knowledge board of 2 to 3 people who review your progress and keep you honest. So ask yourself, are you collecting information or learning only what moves you closer to your goal? As Hill puts it, knowledge will not attract money unless it is organized and intelligently directed through practical plans of action. General knowledge is worth little in the marketplace, but specialized knowledge applied with purpose can build empires. Knowledge gives you the map, but imagination is what builds the road. And since every road begins in the mind, our next step is to enter the workshop where all plans are first created. Chapter 5. Imagination. Turn ideas into reality. In 2007, 2 broke roommates in San Francisco couldn't pay their rent, and a design conference was coming to town with all the hotels sold out. So they came up with an idea: put 3 air mattresses in their living room, offer breakfast, and rent the spots online. They called it Air Bed and Breakfast. At first, it was just a way to cover rent, but the idea kept evolving. What if people could rent out extra rooms or entire homes? That little experiment grew into Airbnb, a company now worth billions. That's the power of imagination. He'll call this the workshop of the mind, the place where desire takes shape. He breaks it down into 2 types: synthetic imagination, combining existing concepts in new ways, like Airbnb merging short stays with an online platform. Creative imagination, brand new ideas that arrive in flashes of inspiration or intuition. A classic example is Velcro. In the 1940s, engineer George D. Stroll noticed burrs sticking to his dog's fur after a hike. Under a microscope, he saw tiny hooks. That single observation sparked a new fastening system used worldwide. Both kinds of imagination can create fortunes, but only if you act. So, how to make imagination work for you today? Keep a running list in your phone. No judging, just collect. Take one successful business and list 3 ways to apply it in a different niche. Set a timer for 10 minutes. How would I solve this if I had €100 and zero code? Constraints force creativity. When I started this channel, my constraint was one video every single week. No excuses were accepted. Every Monday, an imperfect video went live.